because my DMs are flooded. My mentions are flooded. People ask me, D-Mac, are the Dodgers going to get Paul Skenes? Dodger Stadium security asking me, are the Dodgers going to get Paul Skenes? Fans at Dodger Stadium asking me, D-Mac, are the Dodgers getting Paul Skenes? Well, right now, according to BetGM, the Dodgers are the betting favorites. 5-2 odds, a plus 250 to trade for one of, if not the most dominant pitchers on the planet. The issue with Paul Skenes is a couple of things. I was told by a Pirates insider that I trust, that knows more about the Pittsburgh Pirates than anyone on the planet, that there's a 0% chance they're going to be trading him. There's 0% chance that they're going to be trading him to the Dodgers. And what I was told is, he said, quote, I'd bet my life that he's not going to get traded to the Dodgers this season. So I hate to be the one that pours cold water on your Paul Skenes dream, but I was also told it's impossible to put a valuation on him, that he's baseball's version of Mona Lisa. How much is Mona Lisa worth? Who knows? $1 billion, $2 billion? You're worth what someone's willing to pay for you. And for Paul Skenes, you're talking about the most dominant starter on the planet with 4.5 years of team control. That's pre-arbitration. And his value is unprecedented. Even if you included the Dodgers' top 4 prospects, even if you were willing to go that route, even if you were willing to say, you know what, he's available, let's go for it. Let's go all in on Paul Skenes. Here's Dalton Rushing. Here's Josue Apollo. Here's Zaire Hope. Here's Alex Freeland. Here's Jackson Farias. Even if you're going to give all those guys, Ferris, Freeland, Hope, DePaula, Rushing, more guys on more guys, it's still impossible to put that valuation on him. Because if you're the Pirates, the only reason you would trade him is because either one, you don't think he can stay healthy. He's someone that throws 100-mile-per-hour gas. He's been up to 102. And the stats show that the guys that throw harder are more likely to get injured. Billy Beane once said there are 2 types of pitchers, ones that have had Tommy John and ones that are going to have Tommy John. And with Paul Skenes, it remains to be seen if he's going to be able to continue this dominance and stay off the IL and be healthy for an extended period of time. And if the Pirates felt like maybe they could gut another team's farm system for 7 or 8 players that could help them with their rebuild, then yeah, it would make sense for them. The Pirates are a team that they've shown no willingness to commit to winning. And the truth is, Paul Skenes is someone that throws every 5 or 6 days. They need good position players. They need just a better team overall. And right now, they're not going to do it because of how good he is. They are claiming they want to build around him, but that's not the case. The studies show differently. Look, if the Pirates this offseason, if they went out there and they brought in Anthony Santander, if they went out there and brought in a Pete Alonso, they could contend. They refuse to do that. So I'm just telling you right now that Paul Skenes is most likely not going to be traded. Like I said, I was told by as prominent of a Pirates insider as there is that he's willing to bet his life that he will not be traded this season and he will be traded to the Dodgers. Now, that's just where that's at. So it's not even too much to get into. I mean, really, that's just the truth of the matter is even if you were able to give those top 4 prospects, I don't even think it would be enough. I really don't. I mean, you would have to include Hollywood sign, an In-N-Out, the Sandy Koufax statue, the Jackie Robinson statue. You would have to include all kinds of stuff on top of everything. You can't give up money for him, right? I mean, anything over $1 million has to be improved by Rob Manfred, so it's not a cash consideration situation. It's not a thing where you give up draft picks, right? That's not how it works in Major League Baseball. But the more important issue as it relates to the Los Angeles Dodgers is what do they do as far as their deadline plan? Will the Dodgers be aggressive at the trade deadline? Because this offseason, Andrew Friedman has already said that he did not want to be aggressive at the deadline, that he did all of his shopping in the offseason, and that he said, quote, the trade deadline is the worst time to buy because the prospect capital that it requires to get players is too high, right? You had to give a lot of top prospects to get guys in return. Last year, of course, the Dodgers, they were in a position where you had to get a starter because you were missing out on key guys. Tyler Glasnow went down, and you didn't have Shohei pitching at that point. Yamamoto was out. There were just so many question marks with the Dodgers that they ended up making a trade. They traded catcher, first baseman Tyrone Lorenzo, and shortstop Trey Sweeney for Jack Flaherty. And it worked out. Without Jack Flaherty, the Dodgers don't win the World Series. Had his ups and downs, but Captain Jack was the jack of all trades. He was the trade pitcher that had the biggest impact on his team. And I think this year, it's going to be a different story. And for what I've heard is that the Dodgers are going to avoid making a trade for a big starting pitcher, at least right now, because they have full confidence that the guys that are out are going to return. And this was also said in the LA Times. Jack Harris said that the Dodgers are unlikely to be overly aggressive at the trade deadline leading up to that July 31st deadline, that they're unlikely to make overly aggressive moves on the trade market leading up to the July 31st deadline. So I think that Andrew Friedman has already made it clear that they would be interested in adding another right-handed reliever. They, of course, already traded for Alexis Diaz after Evan Phillips was lost for the season with Tommy John surgery. But you look at the starting rotation, and they're going to bank on these guys coming back. And it is a major risk. I just want to point that out. I always say hope is not a strategy, but the good thing for the Dodgers is it's not just one guy that they're hoping to come back. If it was just one guy that they needed to return and you're putting all of your stock, all of your faith, all of your hopium in that one dude returning, then I would be a little overly concerned. But the truth is, they have depth. They have a lot of options they can turn to in this situation, right? You've got Tyler Glasnow, you got Blake Snell, you got Roki Sasaki, you got Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. He stayed healthy this season. But they are going to need, at the very least, two of these guys to come back, pitch at a dominant level, and remain healthy throughout the end of the season and into the postseason. Because my concern right now is that they're putting too much on their bullpen. And yes, a lot of these guys aren't going to be here, right? I mean, you're still without Kopech and Kirby Yates. They're going to hopefully be back this weekend. That's the plan. Brusdar Graterol, Blake Trinan are going to be back at some point later this season. You'll get Emmett Sheehan back, who can start. He can also come out of the pen in a hybrid role. So they're getting some reinforcements. But right now, the Dodgers have a team ERA of 4.13. That's 22nd in the sport. They have 17 quality starts. A quality start, 6 innings, 3 runs. 17 for the Dodgers this year. That's bottom 5 in the sport. You also look at how many times the Dodgers have gone 6 or more innings this season. Dodgers starters have gone 6 or more innings just 18 times this year. That's the 4th fewest in Major League Baseball. So they have not gotten a lot of coverage from their starters, and that's because guys are out. Now, Dave did say about the starters, he said, quote, "I'm very confident we're going to get them all back." There was a pen for Tyler Glasnow. His body didn't respond, so we're trying to figure out when we can ramp him back up. As far as a return plan, there's certainly a cautiousness to it, because as you start getting into the middle of the year, then any setback could be detrimental for the rest of the season. So he brings up a great point, is when you bring one of these guys back and you do it later, if he gets injured then there's not enough time for them to recover for the postseason. So you really have to make sure that when these guys come back, that they come back and they're healthy and then go for the rest of the way. I do find it interesting that there was a big kind of not on the same page moment with Dave Roberts and Glasnow. Dave said that he was feeling some body soreness about Glasnow and that he didn't respond. And then Tyler Glasnow, the very next day inside the Dodgers clubhouse, he told us, "I feel totally fine. My shoulder's totally fine." That issue I haven't felt since I started throwing. It was fine. The back tightness really was just, I think, a precaution.